Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the men's room.
And away we go. Welcome to show number 2,877. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, Robin Fox, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the men's room. On tap today, here come the bad jokes, bitches. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Get ready to play Profile This. Plus headlines, the men's room shot of the day, funnable listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted.
Click, clack, and drinkety drunk.
All right, here we go as we go to the Windy City, where man will listen to Saturday in the Park never again. Meanwhile, a drunk mom labeled the worst airline passenger ever punches flight attendant in the jimmy and kicks him in the shin. We'll get to Boston, where the Ducks beats a car 1-0. Over 100 goats are wandering in Boise, Idaho that some want to kill. And a college student learns why there is a hole in her ceiling. And it's not what you think. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, a few days ago, we told you about a guy in Texas who went to the aquarium, stole the shark out of the tank. Keep in mind, the aquarium was open. Put the shark in a baby stroller and walked out. And I'm not saying the shark was not popular, but it took 45 minutes for anyone to notice that it was not in its own tank. Not to be outdone, a man in Arkansas said, "Hold my beer." He attempted to steal a commercial jet. Now, there's a couple of problems. One, that's very difficult to do. Two, you need to know how to fly. Turns out he did not know how to fly the jet, therefore he was caught. But when I asked him, why the hell were you going to steal a jet plane? He said, look, man, I want to go to a concert. True thing. People will steal, or at least attempt to steal, just about anything. There's a guy that was busted with $100 worth of Walmart steak stuffed down his pants. In Virginia, a guy stole a tank from a National Guard base. He led the cops on a 60-mile chase. A woman in England, she stole a ferry. The whole time she was screaming, and I'm not making this up, quote, "I am Jack Sparrow." Awesome. And more recently, the Swedish royal family, they watched as several crown jewels were stolen in broad daylight. Theft, you see, it's a thing. And we know that everyone's probably guilty of stealing something. And listen, we don't want you to incriminate yourself. So we want you to do the O.J. Simpson thing. You write a book to say, if I did it. Or the Donald Trump thing where you go, I didn't collude. But if I did collude, it's not even illegal anyway. We'll give you the out. Protect yourself. But this is what we want to know today with our men's room blank question. I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank.
Be a part of the big show. Call 844-999-OLA. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at mensroomlive.com. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitch, hola. You have entered the men's room.
On the show's hand, away we go. Welcome to show number 2,877 with a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, as once again, we try to get one into the win column with Ted versus the FCC. The bad jokes coming right before we drink and toast with a shot of the day and another round of Profile This. And today we talk about thieving. As our question, men's room blank style. No.
Thieving Hill.
I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. The Swedish royal family is no doubt glamorous. There's no doubt about that, right? When you think about the Swedish
I've never had that. Is there a royal family that, if you are a royal family, is there one that is not glamorous?
Which means cheese. So is a crime that left them and their subjects short 2 priceless historical crowns and a royal orb.
hell's a royal orb?
The Royal Orb. On July 30th, in broad daylight, 2 thieves jumped into a speedboat moored below a cathedral in southeastern Sweden and escaped with these 17th century accessories. One of my friends saw 2 people running, according to Tom Rossell, who called police after witnessing the escape. I saw the boat just there, a white little boat with a motor on the back. The 2 men hurriedly jumped on the boat. I knew immediately they were burglars because of the way they were behaving. The fact that the boat was waiting, it was obvious to me that they were burglars. Police did pursue the perpetrators by land, sea, and air, in boats and planes, helicopters, and cars heading in all directions to no avail. Authorities say they still have no notion where the thieves disappeared to. I love this quote because I just want to butcher it so you can tell me how stupid I am. By boat, you can reach Malaren, Coping, or Arboga in the west.
Keep going.
Västerås, Eskilstuna,
Say it with
or
authority.
Stockholm if you drive east. Authorities seek observations from any witnesses willing to come forward. Let the police determine what is interesting information. They say if you've got something, just call it in. They don't care. Throw a dart on the wall. They have not put a price on the centuries-old crown jewels. One of the missing crowns belongs to Karl V, who reigned from 1604 to 1611. And who cannot remember the reign of Karl? The other was a piece for his wife, Christina. The royals were buried with a headgear, which was later exhumed and put on public display. The stolen items had been locked in glass boxes. They were on view to the public when the heist occurred in the open church, where staff were working. Now, no one was physically injured during the crime, though the pride of the royals and people was perhaps slightly bruised. This is part of the national cultural heritage. This is a theft from Swedish society. Now, as far as mastermind heists go, there's a key missing piece, even if the thieves continue to elude police. A great getaway is exciting, but the criminals have to offload their loot to make the crime worth the time and risk, according to the article. And they know anyone who's seen a heist movie knows this, but that seems difficult to do with the Swedish royal family's crown jewels.
You know, so Mike and I talked about that.
There's just not a salesman.
You know, we talked about it and said, man, where do you fence these? I would also assume that being that if you're in the art heist world, your network of people that are willing to buy your stuff, it's already there.
You would do this for a reason.
Right. Whoever sent them to steal it, I get the feeling they already have a buyer in place. Right? Like, look, man, whoever the people it is that you deal with, I can guess one country in particular, where you say to these guys, like, look, if you're telling me this is what you want, just know these fools put it out on public display once a year. Mm-hmm. We can go in there, we can grip it for you. It's already been bought and sold.
I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. That is our men's room blank question. 844-999-OLA.
One other quick side note about the Swedish crown. As you're reading that story, it's important, man. It's part of our heritage. We put it out there every year. You also dug up 2 dead bodies to rip their crowns off of their head to put it out there. Mm-hmm. So it's not that sacred to
They
you.
say it's...
I hear what you're saying, but, you dug up royalty just to pull the stuff off their head, just to put it on display. So don't act like it's that important that you honor this stuff.
And I think there's a little more to it when you do it this kind of way, when you crawl under lasers or whatever the hell you're doing. Like, if you go in on a smash and grab... Like, these guys went in and did a smash and grab. No one cares. But if you, dive into on the floor, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then,
get on Kepler's Asa Jones about it.
So I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
But what did they do? They were on display during visiting hour. I mean, they walked up, took it, and left.
Also, what do you do with it after you buy it?
There's no, smash and grab. There's if I'm the buyer?
Yeah, if you're the buyer and you buy all these stolen jewels and crowns, are you going to display them so that your friends can come over and say that's the stolen family is Swedish jewels?
Think about who your friends
Here's
are.
Your Swedish jewels.
And think about the art that they know you own. Absolutely. Here's my elephant ivory, right? Okay. Here's my gorilla hands. Here's the 3 Picassos they've been looking for.
What kind of friends are you running around with, man?
What's that?
What kind of friends are you running around with?
Oh, good friends.
Oh, boy.
I'm
not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank.
Hello, Jared. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
How are you, sir?
All right, so it's not so much of the extremes of what was stolen. I'm still trying to figure out the why. I used to work with asset protection at Walmart. It's a fancy way of saying rent-a-cop. But we had this one guy come through. He had a cart full of 50-pound bag of dog food, a $70 bottle of vodka, a whole bunch of stuff that he bought and paid for. But decided to try and steal a little, like, $1.50 wiring harness out of automotive. And I, to today, could not figure out, like, why you bought all of this stuff, but you're going to spend $1,500 on a shoplifting charge for this $2 wiring harness.
I would have to think because he's been doing this his entire life, so he figures the masquerade is you buy a certain amount of things, you steal a certain amount of other items, whatever seems to be convenient where you can hide it, maybe? Would that be the theory?
I don't know. This was the only thing that he took, and he's got like $150, $200 worth of other stuff that he paid for, but stole a $1.50 little piece of wire.
Okay. All right.
And so, but when you get hit with a shoplifting charge, if the total is $1.50, I mean, that's misdemeanor, right?
It is, but it's still a charge, and you still got to pay for it.
Yeah,
and
I mean, it's still stupid.
It ended up being like $1,500.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that is, it's like people when they steal cars.
Look.
Like, you can steal a Lamborghini or a Pinto, but just know that your sentence is going to be the same. The cops are going to chase you, and the cops are going to catch you. So I'm going to have fun in the Lamborghini, presumably, versus the Pinto.
Or just steal something of value. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
How we doing today?
Doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing but just beautiful.
Thank God.
Yeah. So, anyway, I heard that somebody, when they were 15 years old, stole their dad's 1978 Corvette.
Oh.
They stole it?
Well,
Or borrowed
more
it?
or less confiscated the keys, waited for dad to go to work, and might have gone on a joyride through the streets of Las Vegas.
And how long would this joyride have lasted if this happened?
Well, let's say if it happened, the joyride might have lasted maybe 40 minutes.
And did the car end up back home, or did the cops put an end to this?
No, it wasn't the cops that put an end to it. It was common sense. Because this young man and his little brother, who was riding shotgun,
Of course.
they decided, let's hit the freeway and see just how fast this thing's going to go.
And what did they find out?
They found out that when you're turning on one of those, when you're getting on the on-ramp, and it's one of those nice curved on-ramps with the concrete barrier on the driver's side of it, it's raining just a little bit.
Oh, rear-wheel drive. Yeah, that's good
It
time.
was really light in the rear end, but it had a lot of horsepower.
Sounds like Miles. What is the punishment from Dad? Did the car get messed up?
Luckily, the car did not get a scratch.
Okay.
The rear end started to pull around, and this idiot kid who thought because of video games and, being able to play arcades that he could drive this sports car, he hammered it.
What year did you do this?
Oh, God, what is it?
Or whoever it was. I'm sorry, not you, but whoever actually borrowed the car.
Let's
for the
just
day.
say, for the sake of this, we'll make your friend's name
You. How old were you when you did this?
It would have been roughly 87.
87. So Ferris Bueller's Day Off had already come out at that point in time.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, if you did that before that and then you watch that movie, you'd be like, dude, I already did this.
Better way to do it. Mm-hmm. So what is your father's reaction when he hears about this? And obviously the cops are informing him about this.
Oh, no. Believe me, this was the funniest part. Dad never knew until this moment when he's listening to the show.
Wait, how did he not know? How did he not figure out this happened? You said the cops, you did get involved with the cops, right?
No, there were no cops.
Oh, okay.
You just spun out on an on-ramp.
Yeah, the car did about 3 full 360s. We did not touch the divider. We did not touch a wall. The car came to a complete stop. We both looked at each other, essing ourselves a little bit, decided it was best to drive home very slowly, park the car, and put the keys back.
So now, and you said this happened 31 years ago, and your father, perchance, is just finding out in this moment that this happened.
Once he listens to the radio show, yeah.
What's happened to the car eventually?
Oh, eventually Dad sold the car off, and we did have to, get rid of it.
All right, and you said you were 15 when this happened?
I was roughly 15.
So you didn't have a driver's license?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I thought, like I said, there was this arcade game called Hard Driving. One of them little ones you sit down in, you really got the steering wheel.
Absolutely. You know what, though, man?
I knew what I was doing.
Oh, my God.
It doesn't matter if you have a driver's license or not. You take your dad's baby car out for a ride without his permit. He wouldn't care if you're 30. Like, the anger is going to be probably at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank.
Do you have any other stories you have not shared with your parents yet? I only have like two. Honestly, like in our entire lives between me and my brother. Nothing I've done, but things that my brother and I are both aware of. And like you get together for the holidays, man. And we are grown, reasonably old men at this point. And there's still, as you reminisce about all the stupid things that happened growing up, and everyone chuckles about them now. And your parents say some things you didn't know, but there's like one or two things where we're like, you know what? We're not going to bring this up because it was so severe and so bad when it initially went down. I honestly feel like it's one of those things you're just going to pick up where you left off.
So this is worse than the guy with the pepperoni in between his toes?
Yeah. See, I would share that with him, man, because I got in trouble for many. Keep in mind, when I threw this party and kidnapped the guy, there were a million other things we did, and I got busted on 1 million of those things. The only thing they did not know from that party was that I kidnapped someone. And to be honest with you, at the moment that all this stuff was raining down on me, I'm like, I'm not going to bring it up because they haven't. Mm-hmm. So they're mad about other stuff. I feel like that would just, it might be funny now, might be, but it certainly would not have been then.
I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Big Mike. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. How's it going?
Hola.
So I'm not saying it's me. Well, I'm kind of going to have to say it was me, but
right out of the gate.
I mean, damn.
Right out of the gate.
Were you speeding? No. Yes.
yeah. I'm not going to deny this. It was when I was young and dumb.
All right.
Oh, yeah, then. way back then.
You know.
Way back then. Right. Much smarter now.
Well, yeah.
So what happened?
Okay, so one night I had just had my bike stolen. My buddy and I we were kind of drinking our sorrows away. We grabbed a couple 18 packs, went back to my house. We were playing video games. So he looked over at me. He was like, "Hey, want to do something dumb?" Sure. So we decided we were going to go get me a new bike that night. It was probably about 4:00 in the morning when we decided this.
When you say bike, you mean bicycle?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because that was my only transportation at that time. I rode a lot of bikes in my life.
Okay, and I'm assuming, going by Big Mike, how big are you?
I'm 6'7".
So you need a big bike. Like you can't just go steal a regular bike. You need to go steal a specific big ass bike. So if someone stole your bike, I mean that's a big bike. All right, so go ahead.
So we ended up we were searching all the yards and we found this bike and it was a Swin, and we took it back to my alleyway house that I had. I was living in an alleyway, and I had a driveway that was kind of secluded from the whole alleyway. And I was sitting there, I was working on the bike, and he's like, hey, wait a second, I just seen something back here. I'm like, I wonder if he's seen another bike. And he runs off, and I'm like, He disappeared for a little bit, and he comes back, and I hear the stomp, 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 stomp coming down the alleyway. And he comes around the alleyway. He had a cactus in his hand. It was a large, probably like 20-pound pot that he had in his hand, walking around the alleyway going, open the door, open the door, open the door.
Why did he steal a cat? Like, who does that?
I don't know. What his story is when he walked into the yard, he was just looking for something to steal, and he spotted the cactus, and when he turned around, he was going to walk out, and he seen a big old Rottweiler sitting there. He was like, if I'm going to get out of here, I might as well just take the cactus because the Rottweiler was sleeping.
Whatever happened to this?
I might as well make this worth it.
So did you never get?
That's not worth it.
I guess you never stole a bike then.
Oh, we stole the bike. He didn't find the bike in that yard, but we stole a bike and the cactus that night.
Okay. How long did you keep the cactus?
I think I actually had that cactus for another 3 years, and it flowered twice for me.
Nice. All right. Very lovely. Well, I'm sure the people you stole it from will be happy to know that it was still alive. Did you ever find the bike that was stolen from you?
No, actually, and believe it or not, that bike that I stole, it got stolen probably another 6 months later.
Jeez, a whiz, man. Probably by the same people who stole the first bike you had.
Mm-hmm. Or by the kid you took it from.
It could be a possibility. Actually, what happened is they ended up, I had it chained to a fence, and they cut the boards in the fence and took the lock in the bike all together.
Tell me you've moved since then.
Yeah, I've moved since then. This was back in Montana.
You realize your buddy that stole the cactus, I'm picturing like Ocean's 11, all right? We're going to knock over a casino, and then your last buddy shows up at like your getaway vehicle, and like he stole gum.
See, look,
you know what I mean? Everyone else has gold bars. I have poker chips. I have cash. It's like I stole gum.
No, I thought in Montana, man, you could just leave. I would just assume you could leave your door open. You knew everybody. Like nobody could get away with that crap.
Yeah, but here's the difference. He lived in a place that had an alley. Mm-hmm. And one thing I believe to be true in this country, if you live in a place that has an alley, the closer you are to the alley, the closer you are to the epicenter of crime, right?
Okay. Bad jokes coming up. You can email the bad jokes to the men's room at mensroomlive.com. Also send the bad jokes to us on Twitter at Men's Room Live, as well as we'll have the bad jokes with Ryan Castle, the drunk in charge, and kick that off right before we drink and toast with the shot of the day. Our Men's Room blank question, I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A man in a suit and a fedora who robbed more than $200,000 worth of jewelry from a store, later pawned the goods for money to buy heroin. This according to a criminal complaint. Antoine Mitchell was in a hospital recovering from an apparent overdose about a month later when police got an anonymous phone call saying he was the suspect in the June 26th armed robbery at Paul's Jewelers. The caller's name appeared on the caller ID as Stephen Monroe. Earlier that day, he had called 911 about Mitchell, who was taken to St. Joseph's Hospital. Mitchell is now charged with 2 counts of armed robbery and false imprisonment, along with armed carjacking. Monroe is charged with receiving stolen property and possession of heroin. Yes, that's correct. If he had not overdosed, he never would have been busted.
That's the problem with heroin.
A Paul's employee was entering the store shortly before noon when Mitchell, wearing a suit and a fedora, got behind her. He said he was having his watch repaired. But after the woman was through the first of 2 security doors, she told police she felt something in her back, and Mitchell said it was a robbery. Once inside, he zip-tied the hands and ankles of 2 female employees, used a key to unlock a display case, and took the jewelry. He also had gone through the first woman's purse, taken her keys, and left the store in her Hyundai Santa Fe. It was found abandoned a few miles down the road. After they were sure Mitchell was gone, the 2 women struggled to reach a panic button, and they summoned police. After Monroe turned Mitchell in, police learned that Monroe had pawned some of the stolen jewelry at jewelry stores in Glendale, Greenfield, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. More pieces from the store were recovered in Monroe's residential block, but this all happened for one reason and one reason only. He had an overdose.
You know, and you got to think, a dude wearing a suit and a fedora, he's going to steal jewelry. Right?
Our Men's Room blank question, I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
A couple of quick comments. Oddly enough, you're just talking about jewelry, and it says, I worked in a jewelry store for a while. Another employee stole a ring, then sold it to a different jewelry store in the same mall.
What?
That's why he knows they stole it, because, you know, I mean, obviously they went down the hall and said, hey, man, they're trying to, you know, I don't know. I work at Shane Jewelers. He came up from K Jewelers. This is your ring. Says, all the bitches, I was the getaway driver. My buddy stole steaks. Then we ran from the cops and got away.
Jesus Christ.
And this guy liked it. He says, not allegedly. I stole thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment from the Russia startup company that laid me and my friends off after they were acquired.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
Hello, James. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Hey, I'm not saying it was me, but I heard a story of a couple guys borrowing an engine out of a car.
Borrowing the engine. Yeah, it's not you know what? They just borrow it for a little while, then when you're done with it, give it back. What kind of car was it?
Well, I think it's been about 30 years. I haven't returned it yet, but it was a 59 El Camino.
Oh, gee, what did you put this thing in?
Well, the story goes that there was a farmer over in Eastern Washington that had a whole field full of old collector cars, and these 2 guys were looking to buy parts and stuff for their cars off this farmer, and he was content to just let them things grow out there in the field and not sell anything. So one night they decided to sneak out into the field and see what they could find, and came up with the plan of just taking the whole engine out of the car.
How long did this operation take?
I mean, you need a tripod. How do you lift the engine out of
4 hours is what I heard.
Okay. All right, I was going to say,
That's what you heard, huh?
How do you lift an engine out of a car in a cornfield? You can't lift an engine out of a car half the time in a garage. You need like a lift.
Piece by piece.
Oh, you took it piece by piece.
Yeah.
Get out of
I
here.
didn't. They did.
Right,
did,
whoever
course.
it was.
Over a period of 4 hours.
4 hours. Two guys, one guy went under the car, unbolted the tranny, and the other guy started taking the heads and manifold off.
Do you think with these people, when they got their thing, did they clean it all up before they put it back together?
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking to this day, I haven't been over there in a while, but I know this field that they're talking about, and I bet those cars are still sitting there.
Is that right?
Oh, man.
Okay.
No harm, no foul then, man.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, you can, the only problem with, junkyards are great, except for dogs. That's what I found.
Junkyard dog. Meaner than a junkyard dog.
That was the idea, man. You knew where the car was. You knew you could get to it. I mean, once you get, all the doors are open, which means you can pop the trunk, you can pop,
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999-OLA.
What is the average breed of a junkyard dog? Is it Rottweiler? Is it Doberman?
I always ran into German Shepherds.
Oh, yeah. Somehow they're different. Hello, Mark. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Hola.
First time caller, but I felt I had to, as I am known for this amongst my friends.
Okay.
The big one I called in on is over the course of going to college, I probably walked off with 200 to 300 Magic the Gathering packs.
All right, now let me ask you this: in the world of Magic the Gathering, we have the honor of working with some people that are fiercely competitive in this game, and I don't know much about it, but I do know that certain cards, I guess, much like baseball cards, if you have your hands on certain cards, they're worth a ridiculous amount of money or a ridiculous amount of envy from other Magic players. So if you steal that many cards, how many of these high-value cards do you get out of that?
Did you hit the lottery?
I never hit the lottery with it per se, but I was unemployed for last summer into the winter and sold my cards that I had kept for that time for a bit over $3,000.
What?
That's nice work.
Yeah.
And that's probably a pretty good chunk of time ago as well, right?
The taking of them, I started, that'd be back in 2000s, well before they had the stupid individually packaged ones.
I was going to say,
I'm probably part of the cause of it.
That's a lot of.
I was going to say, you might
money.
have contributed to why they do that, man. You know what I mean? Like, just saying.
No, it ain't me.
I know there's so much money in Magic.
Oh, yes. All right. Men's room blank question. I'm not saying it's me, but I heard someone might have stolen blank. 844-999. Ola, you're on the line there. Hold on. We'll be back here in just a couple seconds.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.